Do you ever have memories that come back to you that just kind of like punch you in the gut out of the blue, like a regret? I don't know, it's like sometimes I'll be in the shower and I'll have some weird memory come back to me from elementary school and I'll just be like, oh, why did I do that?
Yeah, all the time. My life is full of regret. Anyone who says they have no regrets, I think they're either lying, they're in denial, or they have a terrible memory.
Or a personality disorder.
Like, just the other night, I regretted that 7th piece of pizza. Or sometimes I regret not holding it till I get to the bathroom.
This sounds like a story maybe we should tell.
No.
Oh, maybe later?
Well, maybe later.
Like the ones that are just kind of little, I move on from pretty quick. I'm pretty resilient that way, but there's a couple that just like hit me hard.
Zingers.
Yeah, and so even though I'm glad I went through them because it changed who I was and it made me be a better
Who you are today.
Right. I don't know, I call them Emma moments. In Jane Austen's book, Emma, they are at a picnic, and Emma, who's this really endearing character, she just is struggling, and she takes it out on this really sweet character and says something so true, but so rude. It breaks this person's heart and makes everyone else uncomfortable, and then Mr. Knightley calls her out, and he says, "Badly done, Emma." And so sometimes when I think of those moments, or sometimes when I have them still, that's the first thought in my head is, badly done, Emma. It's not a cheerful thing to talk about, but I'll share a couple.
Okay.
So my Mr. Knightley of 5th grade had been someone that I had a crush on for 2 years. I had a really good friend, and I'll call her Emily. That's not her name, but anyway, she was a bit of an odd duck, and so was I, and we got along great. And it bothered me that people kind of picked her out as the person to pick on. You know, by everybody picking on her, then it made it so that they weren't in the spotlight or maybe could get picked on as much. So.
Yeah, every class has a scapegoat. It's a shame. Kids are mean.
Yeah, well, they did the Emily's germs, no returns, guaranteed to give you worms, and they would like tag each other.
Oh, yeah.
With her germs. It was like the cheese touch. And I would get so angry, and I would try to put a stop to it. But I was sitting there in the library of my classroom in the corner, and someone reached through, and they gave me her germs. And I looked, I saw that I was sitting right next to the boy I had a crush on. And like I just wasn't sure how to handle the situation. And I turned to him, and I gave Emily's germs. And he turned to me and gave me just the most confused, disgusted face. And he was like, "Isn't she your friend? What kind of a friend are you?" And it was just this,
Oh, badly done, Emma.
Right. And he's like, "I think people who play that game have germs." And he left, and I just sat there alone in this little corner, and I was like, what did I do? I wasn't true to myself. I wasn't true to her. But it was a good lesson for me to be a more true friend.
Yep, regrets make you who you are.
I think the one that maybe I regret the very most, now, granted, I was a pretty mischievous kid, so we pulled all sorts of pranks, and we would get into trouble and sneak out the house and do all sorts of stuff. But this was like a whole different level. And it was when I was in 6th grade, and I was kind of in between friend groups, and I was a little lost. And I was trying to figure out who I was and where I fit, and it didn't feel like it fit anywhere, and I just hurt. And there were some girls in my dance team that were kind of welcoming me in. And they were a lot of fun, but I learned that they did mean things too. We were at a dance competition, and we did our performance, and we were running in and cheering and happy, and then it was just kind of us. One of them said, let's take the duffel bags of that other team, let's go put them in the showers and turn the showers on. I felt super nervous. Like, I loved a prank, but that was so mean. You know, I just didn't know what to do. I remember turning on one of the showers and having this sinking feeling in my stomach, and I ran out with them, and they were all laughing and running down the hallway, and my sister, you know, who's been my best friend my whole life, she just came right up after me and started yelling like, what did you just do? What are you doing? And one of the girls was like, oh, go away, your sister's so annoying. Don't tell anyone. And then I turned around to her.
On your sister?
Yeah. I told her to shut up and that she shouldn't tell anybody. And then I called her a really mean name. I had never used that term before. I had only heard it a little bit. And she just stopped in the middle of this crowded school with all these people and just sat down on the ground and started bawling. Yeah, it was a Emma moment for sure.
Yeah.
I heard one of the girls next to me that was like, "Good one, huh? Let's go." And I just turned and looked at her. I felt sick, and I just ran to my sister instead. And I sat down right on the ground next to her and just like put my arms around her and started crying too. That is not a cheerful story. And I'm sure the girls that did this with me, they're different people now too. And I'm sure that the people we did the duffel bag things to, if they ever heard the story, they'll know I was one of them. I'm so sorry. It was so stupid.
Well, 12's a rough age, it's right around that time when you start being so worried about what everyone thinks about you, and it's just hard sometimes to make the right choices. I think that's why junior high is so hard.
Yeah, you don't even know how hard it is until you're out of it a lot of the times. But yeah, it was this pivotal moment for me. I hate that I did it, but I never was going to do something like that again. For me, what it made the biggest difference of is I looked at myself. I was sitting there. I can feel it. I can remember. I'm sitting there holding my sister, sitting on the ground, having these girls looking at me like I'm an idiot and walking away. And I remember thinking, all right, so what I've just done is to win some people over. And if these kind of decisions win those type of people over, that's not what I want in my life. I need to pay attention to how I am behaving in order to win people over. And if I'm doing good, then those are good people to have around. If I'm being a jerk, if I'm being a brat, that's not the kind of people I want to build in my life. That was such an important lesson for me. So anyone out there that was affected by these stories, I'm so sorry. I still regret that I did them.
Yeah, but no regrets. Hey, did you know that the like button has an uneven gravitational field? It's because it's not a perfect sphere. Anyway, go watch this other Specs video. You'll like it. I promise.